No! No! No!
Horror Pop Extravaganza.
What is up, all of you beautiful souls? It's a new year. It's a new time. It's a new place. Wait, it's not. It's the same place. 2026, the Horror Pop Extravaganza. This is a super cool episode. You're like, there's so many faces on here, and it's not the kids of the big two. It's not the little Duke and the little ghost. It's other faces that if you been listening to a couple episodes, you've probably seen these two. But we are here today with something different. We were talking, hey, we want to kick off 2026 in a cool way. And what does that look like? What does it mean to kick off 2026? We talked, we were just originally going to all sit down here and meet and say, hey, let's just discuss through everything. And then we talked about the idea, like, why not record it? Like, let's just, see if we get anything there. And for me, it's really important to show some of this stuff, to show the behind the scenes, to show that not everything, is as pretty as I try to make it look once it gets to YouTube with my basic ass edits all over everything. But, that we're putting the time and the effort in trying to grow the show into something really cool. And I think 2026 is going to be a really fun year for the Horror Pop Extravaganza. We all took a little bit of time off to just enjoy the holidays. And I think that's something I want to continue into 2026 and beyond. It's just ensuring that as a group we are taking time off, because it can become, if it's week after week after week after week and it never slows down, it's nice to take a breather, and then you come back and you're like, oh fuck yeah, I love this podcast thing, yeah, let's go. So last year we talked a bit about bringing in some new people into the podcast, and one of my personal goals for 2025 was to get some individuals on the podcast, and two of those individuals are here with us now. Lil Duke has been here. This was originally his little brain baby, this whole show. But we're going to do just some kind of meet and greet stuff, man. I want you all, the beautiful souls who are listening to this, and to each and every one of you who does listen to this, we can't thank you enough. This really is not a show for, I don't want to say for us or for you, but it is something where we recognize you, the listeners, being an integral, maybe the most important part of the show, because it's you who we want to share this stuff with, and it's you who helps us grow. It's you who can share it with a friend or say, hey man, check out his podcast, or hit the like and subscribe button. I'm not very good about being like, mash that button and shit like that, how people tell me to do. But, doing those things really does help us out. And one of our biggest focal points for all of 2026 is going to be you, the beautiful souls, is ensuring everything that we do, has you in mind. It's not just me and Lil Duke fanboying over Monster Squad forever, but ensuring that we listen. We want to hear from you. We want to hear so much more from you about, what would you like to see in the show? We've had some people send some movies our way. We do have a list going. It's kind of in the works still right now for some new stuff that might be coming out in 2026, or stuff that might have just released that we haven't gotten to yet. However, we want to make sure you are the star. When you come to the Horror Pop Extravaganza, it's like we open up the doors and it's like, come the fuck on inside, dude. It's been forever. It's cold out. Sit by the spooky fire with Lil Duke, and it'll be a great time for everyone. And so that's what we're doing today. This isn't going to be a full, blown episode of the show or anything like that. I don't know how long it's going to run, but I do feel it's very important that if we are asking that of you, if we are saying, hey, we are asking for your time, we want you to hang out with us and shit, you should know who you're hanging out with. You don't want to go to somebody's creepy basement and fucking Uncle Dan's over in the corner looking like he shouldn't be there and he's been there for too long. We want you to feel welcome, like the lights are on and shit, it's nice, it's warm, and it's bright in here, and not scary. So that's what today is all about, and I'm going to just kind of go around, what's the term they use? Go around the horn here. Let's go around the horn and talk to everybody. But first and foremost, he sat with me on an episode, the last episode of 2025. Last episode of 2025. Who is that? Who we talk about? Last episode of 2025, we did Santa's Sleigh, which if you have not checked out that movie, and it's so funny because a listener of the show, a friend of mine reached out, Tony, and he was like, dude, I just watched this movie, fucking Santa's Sleigh. And I was like, oh, sweet. I thought he had listened to the podcast because he does regularly. And him and I, we talk about movies and shorts and all this stuff. But he came to the same conclusion. He's like, it should not be that enjoyable. It doesn't have a right to be that good, but somehow Santa's Sleigh is that good. However, the individual that was there with me, we met. It's been going on a couple years now. Motor City Tattoo Convention. I think I had met CeeWolf, the great Chelsey Graves beforehand, maybe at the shop. I want to say maybe Juan might have been tattooing on you. I might have come in, but either way, Bruce B Money came on board. He was the first outside recruit, the very first outside recruit. And I was like, hey, man. He's like, I love this shit. And I'm like, sweet. I love it too. You want to help? And I needed help. I was like, I cannot manage this social media stuff. Between me and Lil Duke Spooky, we were failing epically at, having a social media presence. And not even just social media, but I think it's, a community presence. I think that's what it is more than anything else. It's not just social media. It's, because Bruce is not just doing that stuff. He's also like, hey, let's try this. Hey, let's try that. We'll get some shirts. We'll get some this. We'll do some this. It's all about that community outreach and reaching the beautiful souls who he did name. He did. He was like, I love the beautiful souls, dude. And when he said it, I was like, I can't even be mad. Like, I love that. Beautiful souls. All right. So let's put you in the seat. Okay. Mr. B Money. Are you ready? So, okay. All right, here we go. Why don't you let everybody coming into the Horror Pop Manor know, what is your name?
Bruce, B Money, El Bruso, Unc Brucey. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of different names. Whatever you guys want to call, I'm here for you.
Uncle Brucey. Uncle Brucey.
I'm here, I'm with Duke Spooky on here. I'm trying not to fangirl. So
I'm telling you, I want people to let us know, how many I hear so often how many people really love them some Little Duke Spooky.
You know what I mean? This is a big moment.
Yes, it is, and it's pretty amazing. But you are here, you're doing the thing, and you came on. You are Bruce. We will call you probably B Money on the show, just so El Bruso, or
we'll work on it. We'll
figure something out. But if you could say, heading into 2026 to anyone, what would you say to anyone listening to the show? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want the people listening, these beautiful souls? What do you want them to know?
We want them to know we're listening, and we're gonna keep rolling with you guys. We're seeing what's hot, what's not, and we're just gonna keep listening and doing what we do, while shouting you guys out like each episode, or one off episode.
Like a beautiful soul of the month.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We're giving back like no other.
Just put it on the video real quick, like ting, their picture pops up right there, and just have beautiful soul of the month, and it's all sparkly. We want to celebrate. Yay!
Right. Yeah. The word of the, our sponsors say, hey, so and so, and then we just put their picture up there for. Oh,
I wish.
We're manifesting it. We're putting it out there.
Gotcha.
And then we just put them up there for 30 seconds, and we reel it back in. In 2026, we just want to give back to those who helped create this monumental thing. And
how do people go about helping to continue to grow things?
We're going to keep posting on the Facebook. You guys are destroying that in a positive way. The TikTok, the Instagram, and most importantly, the YouTube that you're watching right now.
Sure.
We're trying to grow them all. We want to be, and even the podcasts on the Spotify's, the Apple Music, we want to be everywhere. If you're having a crappy day, throw on one of the podcasts and brighten up your day. We want to be there for you.
I really think that I love that. If you're having a crappy day, hopefully this show can make you fucking laugh. You know what I mean? Because comedy.
I will say about when I first discovered you guys, I don't even know how I did. It was after I met you at the convention. And I think I followed you on Instagram or Facebook or something, and I seen a link to it. And I just started listening. And I would go for walks. Like I'm a big walker. I go for walks all the time. And I would just put your guys' podcast on and I would walk the whole time and just laugh the whole time. Like I loved it.
Awesome, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
And
I
now you're
mean,
not even, not even just a listener, Chelsey Graves. You are an official, like, and this is kind of
right.
the I guess the christening episode. You and B Money are both official now. You're a part of
Official.
this. Like it's unless you do something like, I don't know, pull a fucking Bill Cosby or something, like we gotta let you go. Gotta let you we can't hold on to you. However, you being a part of the show was really important to me. And it was important because I love having different perspectives on things. And the female perspective in horror has always been so cool on both sides of it. On, women writers and directors who I've watched over the years, who I'm like, the voice is just different. And now getting your perspective just excites me. It's like, okay, now we got a whole nother layer. And on top of everything, your mother quotes the Greasy Strangler. That's
Yes.
look at Lil Duke. He can't.
I know,
She
Duke. I'm
can't
with you
either.
though. I'm with you. I couldn't even get past it. Like I tried. My mom was like, just try again. And I tried again. And I was like, I can't do it, Mom. I can't. It's just so cringe.
Oh,
It's so
Janet.
greasy.
Am I doing it right, Janet? Am I doing it right?
Yeah, they're
Uh,
always bullshit artist.
and that's what it all should be. Bullshit artist. Um, but you have both B Money and Chelsey have both done one episode, and I am hoping, it's totally up to you guys, but I think the hope would be to have at least once a month. Both of you, and maybe not both in 1 month, maybe it does happen one where we do it back to back and then, or it's we'll figure something out. But with that, I did have this idea, and maybe anyone listening can let us know what you think. Put it in the comments or whatever. But I was thinking about starting to taking the movies that we do and doing like little mini 60-second reviews. A little thing that's just a quick, like, hey, da, 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 and also create additional just content. We've been talking about it a while, doing more shorts and stuff like that. I know we give Lil Duke Spooky shit sometimes about being the dookiest, but I will say the man is truly, truly one of the most gifted writers that I've ever personally known. I know, right? But we have, I think, everything we need. Like the ingredients are here. We just got to decide: do we want to make a soup, or what kind of soup do we want to make? But I think that's something too, is trying to grow this. And you and B Money have already been so good about it. Like you were out making videos at Bisco's and shit like that, and doing all this other stuff. But taking the horror pop somewhere beyond just the podcast and just talking about the movies and stuff like that, and having fun with it. Because for myself, I grew up dreaming of making movies. And I've done it. Like I've made some little shorts here, made some music videos and things like that. I know Little Duke you guys need to see some of his shit. Like you need to see the Green Lantern movie, because yes, Lil Duke Spooky made a Green Lantern movie, and I'm not talking. It's not like a little chintzy little. I mean, it ain't fucking Hollywood, but it's it's a well thought out thing. But I want to
How do I
make
see it?
this. He's got a. I don't know if you have hard. Do you have hard copies still?
Yeah, so it only exists on a hard copy. It's on a DVD, so I need to I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to burn a DVD.
Oh, it's
So
so easy.
well, I know how to burn a DVD, but to actually decode
Yeah,
it,
to
turn it
rip it
into
to take the
yeah, yeah.
DMR off and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
or the
So,
DRM,
but I
whatever.
would love to do that because I made that movie a while back and I don't do anything with it anymore unless you're close to me, but
Unless you-
I
right.
sent my boy a DVD, with the special features, the behind the shower curtain scenes, if you will.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. But And that's the thing, though. I think what I was trying to get to with all of this is that I want to hopefully make this a place also for just creative expression in a lot of different ways. You know, whether it be take it like I really want to make some little puppet, videos and stuff like that. I've already started mapping out what it would take to make a zombie, like a ghoul, fucking little puppet to go along with my little Pops Ghostly, and then I'll just make a little everybody, and then we can do little stuff. But having both of you here, and Chelsey, I'm gonna stick with you for a minute. You talked about your mom and all that stuff, being a horror fan. We talked about it on the episode about her kind of bringing you up in horror and stuff like that. But what would you want somebody to know about, I guess, or what do you want from the podcast in 2026? If that's too loaded a question, what's your favorite color? Because we could do that question instead.
Like when you're in school and they pick you and you're like, oh my God, what do I say about myself?
Right.
I don't know. So you can call me Chelsey Graves or CeeWolf. I go by both of those names. And I think my mom would be named the Queen of Horror. I would name her that for sure. I can be, a little the below her. But
The Princess of Horror.
the Princess of Horror, I'll take
We need
that
to
one.
get your mom on the show one day.
Oh my God, I know. I really want to bring her on, but she's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, come on.
Now there, and there are those people in the world I've had, which is great after, kind of having test episodes with both you and B Money. There are those people who are great, talkers. They're super fans of all their shit, but you put them in front of a microphone and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I feel the same way. Like I'm not. This isn't even what I'm not. This is not me. Like I am like the most anxious person in the entire world. So I get it totally.
You know what? Maybe that's why you're here, though, is for the pause for the living section, so you can slowly be like, let's figure out how to be less anxious together.
I feel like I have so much mindful stuff to offer in my brain. I've been through a lot of crazy stuff in life, so I feel like I have a lot to offer in that aspect. But for the show in 2025, I just want to continue to grow. I love the idea of the 60-second shorts. I mean, I think focusing on getting some more TikTok videos out would be really cool. Just like short videos, not even of like a replay of the episode or a clip of the episode, just us doing something outside of it.
Or it even could be like highlighting like specific, absolutely ridiculous moments from the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it could be anything, but yeah, I think so. Highlighting stuff outside of just what's in the episode. Yeah, I'm with you there. And I like that, you said you're kind of anxious. I think people all over the world are kind of anxious right now, and it's good to be able to say that. It's good to be able to say, I'm kind of an anxious fucking person right now. And that's okay. Like, this is a good space for you where you can come, hang out, and do your thing. And I know you were like, oh, I did so bad. But I swear, editing that episode, I was like, it was great, dude.
I didn't even watch it. And my mom was like, he was giving you so many chances to say, like, she'll tell me. She's like, he was giving you so many chances to say things and you didn't say anything. I'm like, I don't even know.
And that, I try to, after 3 years of teaching, and you talk about, they call it shotgun questioning. It's something that you should never do to anybody is just point at them and directly ask a question. Like, don't do that to people. But I do try to, throw little pitches out here, a little soft. And you're new to it, though. It's like you don't expect to get on a bike and you try it the first time and you're like, there I go, fucking doing a backflip off a, low ramp or something. It's like, no, I'm going to figure it out, but we'll, but I thought,
yeah, exactly.
I love that your mom gives you shit about it, though, and was like,
She
nah,
does.
bruh, nah. Bullshit artist. They call bullshit artist on you.
Yeah, but I'm excited to get on another episode with you. I know we were talking about what movie we were going to do next. I really want to do, instead of that one, I think I want to do Dawn of the Dead. I think it was like 2006.
Yeah, 2004.
2004, yeah.
Yes.
I think we should do that one first. But I'm just excited to be here with you guys and, get in touch with beautiful souls.
So down to do Dawn of the Dead. It's a movie holding a very special place in my heart. when I got out of boot camp, it was the first movie I saw. I got out and they were like, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Put some real food in me and take me to a movie theater." And that's what happened to be playing at the time. Me and my little sister sat down, and it's just maybe the best Zack Snyder movie that fucker's ever made. It might be close to it, but we are so happy to have you here, dude. It's when you said you were cool with it, ready to jump on board and try things out, I'm ready to have you on another episode. It's something too where we can, record a couple here and there and just do even extra bonus episodes or something like that. We'll see where it takes us, or maybe we start a small little spin-off channel, you know what I mean? The HPE, but it's a series channel where we can talk about like Welcome to Derry. We can talk about Salem's Lot.
my
We can
God.
talk about
Love
long
it.
form, maybe long form, and that way with four of us, that wouldn't be that impossible, to doing stuff like that, especially me being at home fucking disabled half the time. Like my fucking MS don't want to let me work right. It's awesome. It's like, oh, well, I can still sit here and talk until the fucking MS takes my voice. I can still do that. And so, yeah, but I like that too, because I feel like there's so much good, Stranger Things just wrapped up, depending on how I personally was a fan. I was like, I think you did okay. If you had to end the thing, that's a way to do it, kind of go out that way. There could have been, well, you know what? Let's not. Spoilers and all that shit.
Yeah, no one do spoilers. It's still really new.
Yeah,
Welcome
still a
to
little
Derry
bit.
was so good too. Oh my
Got
God.
renewed for seasons 2 and 3, so we're
Hell
getting
yeah.
2 more seasons of that. But there is so much good horror TV out there, and that's something as we continue to do this and expand. I hope we can get into. I hope to continue to expand this year. I really want to try to find someone who is an editor, somebody who wants to edit video. Get that stuff done, and really someone who's just passionate about that and might want to get on board and just be a part of something cool growing. So if you're an editor, an editor, not asking a ton of your time, maybe 2-3 hours a week total, is what it usually takes me to get everything done. And if you're good at it, like I'm okay at it. I'm okay at it out of necessity. I'm sure somebody who's good at it can be like, and it's perfect real fast. But I do want to add somebody on that way. And then I've been talking to another individual about potentially adding another voice to the show here and there. We'll see. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to pull it off. He's a hairdresser friend of mine who does drag, and said he might even do it in character for us. And I'm like, dude, that would be fucking killer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that would be okay. I'd be totally down with that. I've been talking to another show out in California that wants to do possibly some cross promotion stuff. So that's cool. People wanting to kind of celebrate each other's things. Yeah. Across the board. And this really, last year was just a fucking year for all of us, man. It was a year for everybody. It's a year. But this year, it is the growth stuff that I'm the most excited about. And, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the one and only, the radiant, the beautiful, the gorgeous Lil Duke Spooky, my amazing hombre. Dude, just give me your thoughts on us sitting and even having these conversations right now when compared to when you proposed this idea, I guess, what's it been, a couple years now? Two
Yeah,
years?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were doing our podcast before, both of our separate ones, and those kind of crossed over a couple times, and then both of those kind of like flaked out and ran their course. And then I was just looking for something new, and with somebody that was like, it's hard to get somebody to commit every single week to not just like talk for an hour, but to watch a movie and then have to talk for an hour, not to mention however long it takes to write your notes and come up with other things, and you work on your mindful segments and everything. And you never talk to me about that beforehand. So
No.
it's always just like spur of the moment, whatever falls out of my mouth is like what is then put out there,
Right.
So, and you were talking about Chelsea, like that, like sometimes you don't know what to say. I've been doing this for like 2 years and I don't know what to say half the time. So, and I constantly, when I do talk, I'm like, why did I say that?
But it's been, me looking back on it, before we sat down, I was like, damn, dude, this has really gone in a cool place. But the idea has been there from day one. I said, as long as we can have a little mindfulness portion, that's all I really want out of the podcast. And it's been there, dude. And I'm just excited. Like, I'm excited to see it continue to, hopefully continue to grow, the content continue to get better. It's hard. And maybe this is something, the listeners, the beautiful souls could help us out with. It's hard for me choosing movies because there's so much that comes out right now. It's like there's the theater thing hits and then this thing hits. And it's more like, how far out, do we plan? Should we even plan these things as far as the movies we're going to watch? Should it only be a month? Should it be this and that? Do the beautiful souls like a mix of the, vintage? Do you want us to get even more vintage? Is there anybody out there that wants to go back into the black and white era with me? Because that's my shit. Like, I like hanging out back there. But if you really, aren't jamming on it, that's cool. Do we not do enough of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s, the 2010s? Like, we're getting into the 2020s now. But let us know, from a content standpoint, and we're not going to do dumb shit just because one person's like, hey, I found this fucking super obscure thing. I will watch it for you. I will 100% watch it for you. I will find that ridiculous thing and I will check it out for you. But the thing
What was
is,
that Los Muertos No Negro?
oh, dude, that fucking Brazilian thing we watched.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, that was a movie. Fucking Michael Strom, dude.
Michael, damn it, Michael.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we do good with the list because the list kind of keeps us like kind of going in a direction when we're not wanting to overthink it, but we're not like tied to that list. Like something comes out like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and we jump on that,
Yeah.
So
And
I
that's
think
the
that
hard
works.
that's
good.
the hard thing, dude, is because Five Nights at Freddy's 2 came out and 3 weeks later it was on digital. And it's like the turnaround rate of content now is just fucking insane. Nothing. Even Leonardo DiCaprio, I read recently, was like, I don't know, dude. Movie theaters might be, kind of on their way out. Not gone, but a more niche thing. It's not what it used to be, where it was like you got dressed up and shit. When theaters first, like, you left your kids at home, you and your spouse got all prettied up, you went to the movies, you had dinner, you did all this stuff. And then the 70s hit and the Blockbuster, and it's like, boom, that happens. Now we got Grindhouse cinema. Shit's still really cool. Movies are making money. But now everybody carries the content in your pocket. You don't have to go. And when you only have to wait 3 weeks, if you were like, back in the day, you went to the movie, that shit didn't come out on video for like a year. And you had to wait it out. Sometimes you go to the theater a couple times because you're like, I know I'm not going to get to see it for a while, so I'm going to go check it out one more time before it's gone. But we don't live in that world anymore. And I want to ensure that I don't want to say talking to the right people, but, that the shit people want her to talk about is talked about. Because I'm down to talk about anything horror. It doesn't matter to me. Anyone who's listened to this show for a while is like, that guy will listen to dog shit, or he'll watch dog shit. He will, and he'll
Comes to
probably
kill
like
someone.
it. He'll
And
probably
then he'll make Duke Spooky watch that dog shit.
And then Duke, fuck. There's only 2 movies I think you quit out on me, and that was Rubber and Greasy Strangler.
Rubber, I at least fast forwarded through. Greasy Strangler, I didn't want to see another second of that.
So greasy, more grease.
Ugh. But like you were saying, Netflix is going to give Warner Brothers films 17 days in the theater before they're on Netflix.
Is that what they said?
17 days. And they want that. I think they're putting that out there as like, that's the new precedent.
Right. Well, so, looking outside of the bigger system and shit, like Netflix buying Warner Brothers is fucking crazy, dude.
Crazy.
It is crazy. Because you're not even just talking about, like, Netflix is going to own all the theme parks. Like, I don't know if that's part of the deal, but all of the Warner Brothers stuff. And is Netflix, a company that was predicated on internet usage, going to invest that much money into the theater side? I don't think so.
Hell no. They're trying to kill the theater. They're strangling it out. And you know what? I've been paying too much damn money to my Netflix subscription if they can afford to buy Warner Brothers.
Right.
That's why they can afford Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Because they raised it up $2 every couple of years forever.
We got them.
But and that'll the way we're consuming movies and stuff is changing pretty radically, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I just want all of our beautiful souls to know that if there is something you would like to see or hear on the show, just please let us know. Reach out, man. Shoot an email, leave it in the comments of the video, whatever it is. Just let us know and be like, hey, you should talk about this, because there's so much I want to talk about too. I watched the double Joe Bob Briggs on Shudder, the Christmas one, Chiller Christmas thing. But this dude does a charity event. Like, I loved that man before. I fucking love this man now. Like, he gets on there, he's auctioning off all this shit, and it's for 5 different charities that was going to all this stuff. But he was like, yeah, fuck 25 sucks. He's like, if you're fucking poor, he's like, find somebody poorer than you and help them. I was like, damn, dude. I was like, that slaps. I was like, that hits too hard. There is somebody worse off. There is somebody always worse off. But that was really cool. There was a couple other things I've watched. Some trashy, not even really trashy, but it was like early 90s snowmobile horror, where so much of it was just like me going around all through the woods and shit.
We're out of cocoa.
Right. Oh, it was something.
What about a pinwheel?
Oh,
Maybe that's we just randomly put some shit on there once a month, spin the wheel. Next week, we're talking about GoldenEye. I just threw that out there. I was gonna say Showgirls, but
I mean, Showgirls is closer to a horror movie than GoldenEye.
I just threw that out there, guys. But
I like that idea, though. I like it if
something
you could
random,
get like a dry erase wheel, and then just have the. What's next week's movie at the end of each episode?
Or it could be like a Beautiful Soul's Choice,
Yeah.
You want us to do next week.
Right. Pick from these 3 movies.
Pops, you're making sets and shit. Let's do a full set that's like Price is Right, and we just get Bruce to fucking spin that wheel every week,
Dude.
just as hard as he can, dude.
Listen, Bruce already has money guns. He could be spinning the wheel and shooting the fucking money guns around. Look it.
Just in case.
So that's my dream. My dream is to, not the money guns and the Price is Right wheel. But my dream is to have a set, be close enough to, everybody outside of yourself, Lil Duke. But I would like to have those episodes, we film everything, but I would like to have you like that Sheldon Cooper robot when they put the iPad on when he didn't want to get sick and they just had the shirt on it. And then you just come wheeling in and we just do the episode normal anyway with me and robot Lil Duke Spooky.
I want to be like Glenn from the Tom Green show. Like I'm just in a window and I'm just like back there all the time. And I'm just like,
dude. And that's the thing is I could throw a green screen behind a false window. I can get my brother to make us a whole false front. So where we could do the Mr. Wilson fucking Fred Rogers kind of thing. Like that's the hope, dude. That is the hope. And, my brain's been racking about it, thinking about it. I've got the big majority of what it would take. And if my brother can build the shit, then it's really game on. Because, I'm telling you, the woodwork he's been doing has been getting awesome. But, yeah, it's going to be a good year.
Possibilities.
It's going to be a good year. So what did I forget? What did I forget? Who's got anything else?
What about the people want to know about you two? How did you two meet? How did you guys start this beautiful place we're hanging out in?
It's a beautiful story.
It is. It was. It started in a little town called Instagram.
Okay.
And I was doing the podcast, Those Movie Guys. And we'd been doing it for a while. At the time, it was the newest Predator movie had come out. And this was just Predator? Was it?
Yeah. Like
I think it was. So this was.
I think it was just called The Pred.
The Pred. It was the one with Keegan-Michael Key and a few others in it.
Just dog shit.
I didn't really hate the movie, but he comments on my Instagram post that I posted for the podcast, and he's like, "Movies fucking sucks." And I'm like, okay. stranger who I don't know. And I'm like, so I just put a message back and I'm like, okay, tell me about your opinion on it. You know, I want to hear about it. And that was pretty much it. We started talking. It was like, yeah, but this, and then we realized we loved a bunch of the same shit. It was like, oh yeah, but the original. And then we start talking about the original Predator. And then it's like The Crow comes up and we're both just, you talk about fangirl and we're like, bring
This is exciting. The people want to hear about this. This is great.
But that is exactly how it went down. And as Lil Duke mentioned, we were both doing other podcasts at the time, and we would cross them over here and there. And we had done Halloween right after I got married. We did Halloween 2018, or maybe right before or something like that. But I know we did that Halloween, and then a couple other times we'd go back and forth. And then we both were like, got to a place where, like he mentioned, or the podcast we were on, it was just like, this has reached its logical conclusion, because it is hard. And especially if you're the editor, it's hard. When you're doing, I don't want to scare off anybody. I just was like, I need an editor, and then I'm like, this shit's hard. Not so much for this show. I think my first podcast was all about training to do this right here. You know, it trained me. It was my learning ground in order to be able to do this, because now it's like running all the shit. I just had to figure all that out on my own. There was no fucking anything to help hook it all up and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But we still talked all the time. It was never, you know, even when we weren't doing our podcast, we might not be talking like every fucking day, but, you know, every couple of weeks, once a month or something, it was always like, hey, this shit's funny. Look at this. Ha ha ha. This and that. And then when he brought the other show idea to me, it was like, okay, as long as we do that pause for the living segment. And that's that. That's how we met. And it's been bromantic ever since.
That was a little seed that grew into a beanstalk too. Because it started off as just like a little couple minutes at the end of the episode, and then it kind of grew on that, and it became more important to me. At first, I was just like, "Oh, here we go, Pops being hippity dippity and shit," and then, but then I like realized it was good, and people liked it. And there's two things that are never going to go out of style, and it's horror and positivity.
Right?
Like we need it both.
And I think the one community really can benefit from the other, you know? I was talking to a client that I was tattooing on, and he's a big Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop gaming, you know, all this stuff. And even him and I were expressing, I said, you know, when I was in high school and shit, and even before that, it wasn't cool to be a horror fan. You know, it wasn't, I'm sure Bruce can even relate to some extent, you know, being a wrestling fan. Like there were times when it's like, it's not the fucking cool thing to be Dungeons and Dragons. But now we live in this world where it's like the nerds fucking won somehow. I don't know. As far as, you know, pop culture and stuff, like someone like John Cena is beloved, like a household name. You know what I mean? Dwayne The Rock Johnson, a household name. All of these people.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be able to know that we can hopefully put this thing out there for the people who do love horror, you know. And in today's world, I've been to so many conventions and seen like babies dressed up as Art the Clown, you know, or Chucky. You got a little Chucky and Tiffany set that are just little toddlers walking around. Oh, and speaking of which, I watched a 4-hour documentary on Shudder called The Doc of Chuck, and it was or The Doc of Chucky, and it was actually pretty sweet. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty good. I don't know the movies, but so we get to celebrate that, and I think they are two things that do go together well, you know, because I think people who maybe don't lean into horror specifically for it, but horror in itself is probably the greatest cinematic escape because it allows you to feel fear from a safe distance. There's that wall in between you, the screen that separates you, and I think for a lot of people who experience anxiety and things like that, horror allows you the ability to experience trauma, but to be safe at the same time and be like, okay, what would I do? How would I, you know, however, 9 times out of 10, you just walk out of the horror movie and it's like, okay, well now I'm kind of a little afraid of something different. You know, I added a new anxiety, but I think our show is unique. And, you know, we've had a really cool opportunity to interview a couple cats. I hope to do a lot more of that. You know, a lot of this stuff is predicated on once I can really get myself settled, moved, and then a little bit closer to Detroit where I can get to a bunch more of the conventions and stuff and hopefully get some more interviews. But even the people we did, you know, Brad Lurie and Ted Kurzinger, and these cats, everybody fucking loved the idea. They're like, horror needs mindfulness. They're like, it makes sense. It's a weird, fucking small niche thing, but and the nice thing is we didn't build this looking for a niche thing. We didn't build it looking for like, oh yeah, this will be a good combo. That'll get people to listen. It was just like, no, dude, I'm going through some crazy shit right now, and I want to do some mindfulness stuff. Can we do that and try to help people along the way? And it's
I was
trying to, like,
going through all that shit with my job, man, and we worked through that. And I don't know if that would have come out as smooth as it did had I not got to talk about it and air my
talk about some
grievances on
behind
air.
the scenes, dude. You talk about some behind the scenes, man. Like, people know the stuff they heard you say on the air.
Right.
They don't know the stuff that when we would turn the mics off. And
Stick
I'm like,
around for the Drucker
how you
cut.
doing? How you doing? And that's what I hope the beautiful souls get, for any beautiful soul listens to this, is that it's, authentic. It is. I want it to be that. If it ever stops feeling like that, I'll probably stop doing it, because
We
I
wanna be
don't
your
like
escape.
feeling fraudulent. I don't like that feeling of like, I'm pretending to, so I can get someone to do a thing. I'm like, nah, if you want to hang out, cool, man. Horror Pop Manor's open. Come on in. Let's fucking chill. But we won't do the clown dance and the dog and pony show and all that stuff, just because those probably aren't the people who really want to listen anyway. Like, I'd rather have 3 listeners who actually listen. They, maybe take something away from it. It enlightens their day in one way or another. I'd rather have that than a fucking 100 million of just people who are like, but it doesn't really have an impact on.
I'll tell you, it's funny. I'll go outside and my neighbor will be mowing his lawn. He's got his earphones in and he'll see me. He'll pop his earbud out and go, I'm listening to you, bro. You're funny as shit. And I'm like, that just makes my life, dude. Like,
Oh, I love that.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the best.
that's
my
what I do. And then I go, that's what I do it for right there.
Right. And that's
And then
it,
my kids go, my dad does a podcast.
Right. Yeah, my kids same way. Couple, you know what though? There's a couple of my kids' homies who have like legit got on board, who are like,
Oh, for sure, dude. My kids' friends' dads are like, come over and they're like, dude, we were listening to this or that. And I was like, right on, dude. Like,
And that's the hard part about podcasting is there's no, it's not like, and B Money is so good about, putting things into perspective. We got a couple hundred people listening to something. If you were to put all them in a fucking movie theater or somewhere, it would look like a lot of people. Like, it would be a lot of people. But with podcasting, you don't get that. Like, hey, I liked that. Unless you, beautiful souls, you listening, unless you comment or put something directly in front of us, we don't even know. But what who likes
Right,
it, who
yeah.
doesn't like it. We know that people are listening. We can see the numbers growing, but we have no idea. So if you could, because it does, it's nice to know. I get the messages every once in a while out of the blue. Somebody would be like, "Oh, that last episode fucking really spoke to me and shit." I'm like, "Oh, I forgot. We did a podcast." Because it's not that the relationship is so far removed from the creator to the consumer in this medium. There's no instant pullback. That is something I've thought about though. Like, how could we do? I was watching Turner Classic Movies. I like Turner Classic Movies, and I like Ben Merkowitz as the new kind of curator and shit like that. But I was like, what if we just had a list of dope, like, public domain movies and have a little Horror Pop separate channel that introduces, runs a season and talks about the movie through, and it's like, oh, dress up real nice in a suit and shit, and like, oh, tonight we're going to be watching Carnival of Souls from 1960. It was made in blah, 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 and do the whole thing, but it's public domain, so you don't got to fucking pay for it, or you don't got to worry about showing it. And then we could even cut in every once in a while and just say something about this scene here, that scene there, or whatever. But yeah, my brain's been moving. It's been moving on ideas. It's more about just kind of narrowing things down and ensuring the priority stuff is right. And that's a good segue. That's a good segue because we got to do a pause for the living, right?
Oh yeah, that's what the people. They're like, let's pause. They're cheering right now. I can hear them live right now.
I
going
thought about
wild
a
on
good
a Friday night.
HPE T-shirt too. Would just be like a cat with his arms up that says "Pause for the living." But
it took me a minute. I had to visualize it. I had to let it in. I had to digest it. And then I get it.
But this whole, I was speaking really briefly on prioritizing, and this whole month for me has been insane with like MS, sickness, the holidays, stuff happening like left and right and left and right. In life, in today's world, it seems life can get extremely overwhelming like that. There's so many inputs, or I should say, there's so many outputs, and we are just taking in. There's so much information, so it can be so overwhelming. I had to take a really strong step back and look at my own situation and be like, okay, what is the reality here? You know what I mean? Like, and my reality is I will never be able to pursue life the way I pursued life all the way up until my diagnosis, which was balls to the fucking walls at everything. Like, go hard or go home. It doesn't matter. That's the only way to do things. I also, and I think me and B Money talked about this a little bit when we were doing our Pause for the Living, maybe, was doing a lot of homework into like success addiction and stuff like that, because I think I am someone who suffers heavily with my worth being tied to my productivity. My output equals how valuable I am. And whether that's my art output, whether that's my, work output, tattoo output, whether it's the podcast output, whatever it might be, because I was feeling like really fucked up. And when I say really fucked up, like this MS thing is a whole different beast, man. It's like, it's hard to articulate just how it makes you feel, but it is in a bad way. And I'm in this like awful headspace, and I'm sitting there in my recliner. I probably got something on TV, and I felt guilty. Like I felt this overwhelming guilt for not being productive. And it's like, I should be doing something. There's this something in the back of my mind that's telling me like, you should be doing something right now, moving towards some goal or moving towards something. And the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I've really taken the time, stepped back and looked at it, getting a little bit closer. This is still very hard for me. We were raised by a generation of fathers who were like, fucking work your ass off. I can't retire because I don't know what to do with myself. Those kind of situations. And now I'm stepping back and I'm like, it's okay. It is. I could sit right here in this chair and rot away until I die and not do another thing, and it would be okay. That is okay. Do I want to do that? No. You know what I mean? It's not some excuse to like, now I just get to be a fucking bum. But it really took looking like, I know I'm not going to be able to be. I had to talk to my mentor, and I was like, look, dude, I know I'm never going to be a competitive tattoo artist. And that was my goal when I started tattooing. My goal was to be the best, was to be up there on that stage with all these dudes I looked up to, and be recognized as being like, you are the best of the fucking day, or the best of this or the best of that. That was one of my goals. Now I realize like I can never do that because my body physically won't let me do that. It won't. I can't work 8 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. 10 hours a day, when I was doing pharma shit, I would work all day and fucking night. Like I'd come home, work on my computer all night, put the computer away, wake up, do it all night. Just used to that constant production. But taking the time, I think for any of us, and I'm not there yet. I'm working on trying to get there. It is my focal point right now. But I think if I can sever that need, that addictive need to, that compulsion to produce, and then the diminishing returns is like, you get a promotion at work, the first promotion feels dope and you're like, yo, I'm the fucking shit and stuff. Your second promotion, you're like 2 days in, you're like, okay, what's next? What am I working on next to get my next promotion? Like, okay, I'm in this spot now, I got to start working towards the next spot. I think if I can sever that, I think if anybody suffering with maybe some of the same things can sever that, then the productivity is just going to skyrocket, because you're coming at it from a different space. It's not coming from a compulsive need to be recognized. It's not looking for validation. It's not any of those things. It's just, I am here practicing my craft just because that's what I'm doing and nothing outside of that. And I think the results you might get from that, you know, if I was like, yo, write me a fucking script right now. And you were like, okay. And you went to go sit down, but I was like, no, it's got to be specific, like, da 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 da, and you got to do this. Like, it doesn't feel very good. You
No,
know,
it's
it just,
impossible. Like people have done that to me before. Like, wouldn't it be cool, dude, if there was like this milk carton that came to life and started murdering little babies? And you're like, yeah, that would be cool. You should write it.
right. Right. You know, and having that, but I think when we remove the reward from it, I guess maybe that's what it is. It's reward removal. When we remove the reward from the act, then the act itself can become the reward. You know, the true value and worth of practicing something can become the desired outcome, or I think what is the most beneficial. You know, it's if I was to let me see if I can think of an example. I guess, you know, I kind of gave one to you about the writing stuff, but it's even
This podcast is an example of that, man. I mean,
true.
we started off talking out to the air to like two people,
Right.
and we didn't care about how many episodes we put out. It was more about like what we were saying, and like hopefully there's somebody out there listening.
Right. And you know what?
And
And I think that is it, man. It's we never came into this looking to get rewarded for this. It was about a passion we both shared. And then a passion I had about, you know, mindfulness. And that was kind of the whole genesis of the Horror Pop Extravaganza. Those were the original bricks that kind of put it together. And I think the society we live in, the culture we live in, presses down on us really hard to be producers. Presses down really hard, like, you know, and now we have the ability to everybody to be not only a producer but a director of their own content, and it's becoming like I want to like direct the world around me, you know, for specific outcomes and stuff like that. And it's kind of scary. I think if we can let it go, if you can find a way, like I said, I'm working on it. Maybe it won't work out, and I'll come back in like a couple months and be like, "Yep, I tried, and it just didn't fucking." That's impossible. But I do see some of the fruit already starting to kind of develop from my efforts, and I think there is something that can be found there. And doing like any act is worth doing your best, even if no one ever fucking sees it. But we live in a world where we want to be seen all the time. Like, see me, see me, see me, see me, see me. But if your mindset is like, yo, I'm cooking this egg right here. I'm just going to cook this the best shit ever. I'm not taking a fucking picture. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just here cooking an egg, you know, without anything. Or I'm creating a tattoo. Like, I'm going to be tattooing B Money next week. And like if I sit there and I'm like, oh fuck, I hope everybody likes this, you know, I hope somebody likes this and recognizes that this is a good tattoo. I'm not 100% there to be there to do the tattoo to the best of my ability. Does that make any kind of sense?
yeah, like only like 4 strippers are gonna see B Money's tattoo anyway. So
On a slow night, fellas, on a slow night.
I do want to hear though from Miss Graves and B Money. What do you guys? It's kind of a two-part question. Do you recognize when you need to stop and be more mindful about yourself? And what do you do in order to like take care of yourself mentally?
That's a
Ladies
fun
first.
question.
Yeah, I think you just have to step back. You know, like there's a lot of times where you can get overwhelmed and you're just like, oh my God, like what do I do first? Or, you know, whatever you're going through at the time, whether it's a project or something at work or whatever, but you kind of just have to step back, you know, and like kind of look at the bigger picture. Like Bruce the other day texted me and was like, oh, you know, I had this shitty day, I fell and I broke my mirror on my car and all this stuff. And I was like, I was like late for work and I was like, hey, I was like, you kind of just got to look at it a different way. There was a reason why that happened. Maybe you weren't supposed to be on the road at that time. You know, you just have to look at it in a different light.
Perspective is everything. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, B Money? What do you do with your
All right,
anxiety?
all right. Well, I'm not going to talk about my Sunday. We're gonna move on from that. But it's funny. Me and CeeWolf actually started off with Wolfpack Gaming, right? So just a little. We didn't even think nothing of it. We're like, oh, we'll call it this and this, and we would stream video games like crazy. We went hard, like nonstop for like 10 months, and finally we're just like, yo, like let's just take a break, and then we'll edit the videos, and then it was great just to take a break from it and then go right back into it. We did merch. We were going hard for like 2 years nonstop, no breaks, like no breaks, all gas type shit.
Right.
And we were getting worn out. We're like, well, we gotta keep going. But then once we, came back to reality, we're like, all right, let's just pump the brakes now, and take in and then look at our accomplishments. And we're like, oh, okay, we did this. Holy shit, we did that. Okay, now we can just do what we want to do, So it's important to take breaks now and then and just look back, And I think that's important. Don't compare. We never compared ourselves to anyone because we were doing the blueprint like you guys here.
Yeah.
We're like, whatever happens, happens. Even if one person saw the Wolfpack Gaming shit, that's one person. We're done. And organically, everything just happened beautifully. And then it led us to meeting you at the tattoo convention.
Yes.
And that led to here. So, like, everything's happening for a reason, and it's beautiful when it happens organically. And that's where we're at. Just let nature run its course.
I'm kind of in the same exact position as far as like I've never felt so prepared to do what we are trying to do. What we are trying to undertake. I've never felt so prepared to do it. Whether it's, 8 years of fucking business school, or just the 5 years of being in the trenches, figuring out how to podcast while I was fucking drunk. Like, you guys should listen to some of those episodes. There were a couple. I remember one episode, me and Phil, I got to see if I could find it. Shayna still laughs about it. I was getting ready to go to bed. We just finished recording, and I was getting ready to go to bed, and I was like, oh, hey, I'll be right back. We were going to finish talking and shit like that, and I went and popped my fucking Ambien because I was going to get ready to go to bed. And then the file got corrupted, and we were like, let's just fucking record it again. So by the end of that one, and these episodes used to run for, sometimes 4 hours, like 3 hours. They were long episodes. And I remember by the end of that one, just fuck barely being alive. Like, fuck, talk to you next week. Just check. Good times. Good times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. But I do feel like all of that, kind of to B Money's point, has prepared me for where I'm at right now with all of you guys. It feels easy. It feels right. The pieces that have been falling into place, everything feels really right. And I'm just so excited to where we're going to take this. So to all of you beautiful souls, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend. Find somebody in your life who you're like, yo, I really, if you're one of those people like Lil Duke's neighbor or something, you're like, yo, I'm fucking dying over here laughing at this shit. Share those laughs with someone, man, if you can, and not just anyone. Don't do it. But if there's someone in your life who you really think might enjoy the show, fucking put them onto it. And let's just keep building an army of beautiful souls and hopefully putting out rad content along the way. So we will be back next week. We're kicking off 2026. I don't even 100% know yet. We were talking about doing Oculus, but who knows? We're gonna leave it up in the air. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do Oculus. I don't want to start it.
I just watched Oculus, so we better do it.
Right. It's a fucking dope movie, though, right?
It's so good, dude. I forgot how good it was.
Yeah, it's a great one. Okay, so we will be back next week with Oculus, and then I think the week after that is going to be me and Chelsey Graves. We will figure out recording an episode. Sounds like it's going to be Dawn of the Dead from 2004. Such a fucking gem of a movie. If you haven't seen it, one of my favorites, Ving Rhames, just shows up in like the best way. Everybody in that movie just shows up in the best way possible. So definitely check those out because those are coming in the near future. and like, subscribe on all the socials. B Money's always putting polls out there. I'm telling you, it is a fun page to follow along with because it's not stale, it's not dead. It's there's always something new to do. He really does stay on top of that in the best way possible. So be sure to get on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. Hit the likes and subscribes and all those to help us continue to grow. And so I guess until next week, I've been Pops Ghostly.
I've been Duke Spooky.
Chelsey Graves.
B Money.
Oh, look at that. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm still.
No! 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 Horror Pop Extravaganza.